Hi, James Garbutt here. I'm sitting on the front stoop of my own house, which was originally built in 1893, so I'm definitely living in an old timer. Anyways, today's video blog is about tips for making your offer look as good as possible when you're in a competing multiple offer situation, which is quite common nowadays if you're looking for a detached house in Greater Vancouver. So, step one, price. Put your best number on the offer. Don't leave anything off the table. You want to go with your best number. You can't rely on a counter offer, and if you miss out on a property by $5,000, you'll likely be kicking yourself a few months down the road. Two, deposit. We always recommend 5%. That would be a bare minimum recommendation. And you know, if you can put more down, but at least 5%. You don't want to have any concerns over your offer due to a low deposit. Dates, you know, if you're in a flexible situation, say you're a frustrated buyer who's sold his apartment and out of house and home, leave them blank, leave them up to the seller, you know, and you know, if you have subjects, leave them blank. If you don't have subjects, you might want to be cautioning yourself on that, but leave the dates blank, give the seller the full right to choose the dates, or at least talk to the listing agent first before putting dates down, and you know, don't make dates a sticking issue for buying a long-term home in this crazy market. Items included on page 2. Don't be over particular. You know, if you're, you know, don't ask for too much, basically. If you're competing and you're asking for a lot, you don't have a whole lot of leverage in the negotiation. You want them to feel like, you know, you're a solid candidate, you're asking for a reasonable amount of items, and you're putting your best number on the table. If you start demanding things, it's going to make your offer look worse. Subjects. Unfortunately, if you're buying a house right now, the best option is none, but you know, as a realtor, we can never recommend that, but that's just the reality of it today. I mean, I've seen, if you have a nice home on a quiet street, and I've seen a number of situations that have had 10 plus offers, and they always go to someone without subjects, it seems. So, you know, if you do decide to go in subject free, make sure you have a long, you know, good hard talk with your mortgage broker first. Sometimes they can give you approval on a property if you get them, you know, a mock contract prior to offer presentation. Get an inspector in there before offer presentation. You know, this is when you're going after a really hot property, of course, or, you know, you may have to put yourself out there on some of these items if you take on the risk, which I have seen as well. The reality is, if you have subjects on your offer, make them as short of a removal as possible, clean them up as much as possible. But a lot of the biggest sales that have gone on this year to date have been subject free, which means people have got their financing, got their inspection, got all their ducks in a row prior to offer, or they're just taking a huge risk. Other things, put a letter, you know, put a story behind your face on the cover of the offer. You know, some homeowners appreciate the buyer and want to know who's going to be living in this home. You know, especially if they have some sentimental value in the home. They don't want it to be torn down. It might be of value if they see a young family that's going to keep it as is. So a letter with the offer is always a strong, you know, a little advantage. You might at least get a second chance at a counter offer if you're not the leading candidate. And your realtor, present in person, you know. Anytime you have an opportunity to be face-to-face with the sellers, when you're in a competing offer situation, it helps. And it helps because if you're not the front-running offer, but they like you, they might go with you, or at least give you a second chance that they may not have considered if you were just another piece of paper. So present in person, and buyers, just be patient. You know, don't expect to get the first home you go after, especially if you're looking for the same type of property everyone else is. It is a seller's market right now, and be prepared to put out a few offers. If you have any questions at all, my name's James Garbutt. Thanks for watching.